Welcome back to Katowice for ESL One Katowice 2019. We are well and truly on the way through the lower bracket right now after an absolute stonking game in game number 1. What can we expect in game number 2? Let's find out from Nahaz, who seems to be slightly confused, Toby One, who's never confused, and Fogt, who's always confused.
I think we're just
stonking a word?
Yeah, well, what's that? We'd like a definition of stonking.
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 Please.
Let me teach you some new words. Stonking.
Okay.
That was a stonking first game.
Okay, that's not a definition.
That's a made-up one, right?
It's got to be. It's got to be.
We use that all the time in the UK.
Yeah.
Stonkingly good.
You got to look that up. You got to look that up.
Stonkingly good.
I know that in British English, any word ever can stand for getting drunk.
Anything impressive, exciting, or large.
See?
Wow.
Stonkingly good, right?
Wow.
Yes. No, you can use almost any word.
It's British.
For being drunk,
It's British informal.
Yes.
British informal.
British
informal.
Okay.
See, I was being informal.
I
was talking Bringlish.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
Sure.
I got completely bungalowed last week.
You're a galah.
See? I don't know what that is.
Insert word. Just any word.
You said you can use any word you like in English language to mean drunk. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael McIntyre told us that. We learned. We should get back to the game.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love talking to you about other stuff and teaching you new Bringlish. It was a pretty good game. I don't know how we expect to get another one.
Yeah.
Do we dare?
Yeah,
Do we dare dream?
Yeah, we can dare.
Absolutely.
We can totally
Are
dare.
you kidding?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I
greedy,
want another
man.
game like that, but I don't know if we can call on the Dota gods of Gabe and Hell to produce one.
Just be positive.
Okay.
That's the way to do it.
Dear Lord Gabe.
This is the same mentality I had going into the first series of today, and I was totally wrong.
Okay.
But this patch, this patch does not have too many of those type of games, though. To be fair,
hell of a lot more than the last one.
It's gotten.
Yeah.
Yep, it's more than last week.
Lord Icefrog is not pleased with you anymore.
I actually think you're going to see, not at that level, but I think you're going to see a lot of 50-plus minute games in this patch just because of the way that the teams are playing as well.
Not a lot, surely, but more.
More than the previous, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we've already had more here than at the entire Siki Major.
Yep.
We just had Meepo versus Huskar. Like,
did you know this is officially now, because of that long game that we've just had, the largest gap between fastest and shortest that we've had on any tournament in the last 12 months?
Well, when you get a 12-minute and a 70-plus minute game, sure.
this game was an hour longer than the other one. Yeah,
Man,
right.
I thought I owned the world of obscure Dota stats, Paul, but that's pretty good.
I keep a few. Props to you for finding out the longest ESL One game of all time, though. That was 91 minutes.
91-36 Fnatic and Vici at Genting.
What a surprise. Involved Vici Gaming.
And Fnatic,
And
come
Fnatic.
on.
Yeah,
Wow,
actually.
first pick Leshrac.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
And that was ignored? Yes,
Yep.
that was ignored fully.
Yeah, it was ignored completely in the previous draft.
So that's how you change things up immediately. And there's multiple heroes that were banned out.
Yes.
that were picked in the last game, of course.
Prophet's gone, Lifestealer's gone, Chen's gone.
And you picked a stun! Yay!
So who's left from the bans left over before? It's Visage, Timbersaw, and Shadow Shaman, I think, were the 3 that were taken out and not this time, yes.
Wow, they banned they kept the Bounty Hunter too.
Pango's banned.
Pango's banned, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they still banned the bounty.
Timber and Visage were banned by
Pango
Mineski.
and Prophet are the 2 heroes that I thought Mineski would ban.
Shaman is the other one. Is Shaman banned?
No.
No. So yeah, Shaman is the other one. He was banned along with the Bounty and the Tiny.
Yeah.
This is cool when you ban the Lifestealer and you take the Leshrac, because Lifestealer is one of those heroes that you can eat the Leshrac, and we saw that a couple times. But can they take the CM? We've been seeing them picking this one a bit more, and a couple other teams experimenting.
Yeah.
And this is also one of the teams.
How do you like the CM, gents? Does it feel like it's a tier
I like it better
2
now.
support now, or do you feel like she's come back up into the top tier?
I like it better now with the 20 armor on Freezing Field for sure. And this is one of the few teams that still run Sand King too. And they'll run that Sand King Crystal Maiden duo.
She feels okay.
Yep,
she's not your tier 1s, of course.
Okay,
But
so
she's
maybe 1.5.
Yeah, I think she's climbing. Tier 1.5, tier 2.
All right.
She's one of the ones Misery prefers, though. Like I think he played it twice already during the main event.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how they deal with the Leshrac. Like if you go directly against it, and if you deal with it when it's in a 3 position as well, which is another possibility that could happen.
Nyx can work, Pugnas can work.
You're going to go with that
Another
Ember
big
instead.
first phase hero for them.
Hey, we taking care off now. There you go, done.
No, don't assume. HFN plays very nice Ember Spirit, and that's how they pivoted to the 5th pick Meepo the other day.
Yep, that's what they. In fact, exactly this kind of position where they picked it second, and everyone just assumed that it was already a Ro4a pick?
I think Mineski's shown in the first game that they're not going to get caught off guard by the neutral pick. And man, this hero, based on at least what we've seen today, vaulting up there in terms of valuation.
And versus an Ember Spirit, so already having a pretty good matchup there.
Just when you use that phrase, Alan, just while we wait for these bans to come in, you use the word vaulting up in value.
Yes.
Right? You're an economist.
Yes.
Okay. Is there something we could do with Dota heroes which could give them a value based on how many times they're picked and where they're picked and how often they're picked?
Oh yeah.
So you could run that website.
We've talked about it for Mineski, but we'll keep that.
All right, sorry, I'm stealing ideas here. And
we didn't have that for the first one, but for the first one, I wanted the system where you could trade hero shares.
Right, well, that's what I mean. That was why I was thinking about it. You could almost be like, oh yeah, I'm into buying more Crystal Maiden shares right now. Do you know what I mean? And then you could, you know, affect the value of it somehow. But really, the real value is how many times it's picked and how many times it wins. And
well, the interesting thing, right, is that heroes are so valuable for different reasons. It's almost like it's got to be a multi-dimensional space, because there are some heroes that are so valuable that because they can be picked first phase and because they're so flexible, not necessarily because they're the most awesome at any one position, but you've got to pick something first.
Yeah. I like this Earth Spirit ban. Hero to get into the back lines. If you're Oracle, like we saw exactly what you want to be doing as an Oracle. You got to be hiding. You have to hide yourself as far back because you're going to be the main target in every single one of these fights. So I think for Chaos, one thing I do want to see them get is get some type of vision aspect, some type of way to see where the Oracle is positioned inside of the fights.
Yeah, and that's where you start looking at the HFN, Slarks, even Weaver, although as bad as I think Weaver is right now.
Can you do it with a 4 position? Like, is there a better 4 position that can slip into that?
Let's see what Chaos
King
plays.
RD, I mean, I saw him play Sanking. I was not very fond of the Sanking.
What about something that's a little bit more scat, a little bit more left field, is like something like a Ricky to get to the back lines? He may not be able to survive long against.
I know you said that, but they're still comfortable with the King RD Sanking, and that is something that fits that profile.
I would prefer the Nyx tenfold in this game.
Yeah, they just don't run a lot of Nyx.
Yeah.
He
used to play it.
He did. That's true. That's true.
Great first lash. It's good to get in the back line.
They have run it once this patch, so I'm down with Nyx Assassin. That hero is another one that sort of shot up for me.
I think for the 4. They ban out the Magnus, so that, you know, of course, the enabler for the Ember.
Also sort of moves them away from the PA, because we've been seeing a little bit of PA make, not massive amounts. In fact, didn't Mineski play?
They picked the PA.
They picked it
twice yesterday. Yeah, twice yesterday.
They did PA mag in the second game as well.
Yeah, they did PA just alone in the first one, and they did PA mag in the second. And there was a second pick PA as well.
Right.
So we need to get that camera onto the pick screen, just see which hero they're gonna click. I want that extra information before it arrives.
It's interesting to me that the PA Ember matchup is it's just so dependent on who has vision of who where.
Okay.
Husker ban. All right.
They're trying to give Ember a good lane option. They're leaving it like, okay, this can go mid.
Right.
We're banning Razor and we're banning Huskar, the 2 heroes that destroy Ember in the mid lane.
So and that's one of the big strategies, right, with your second phase ban, is you preserve that flex value.
Yep.
10 seconds remaining.
Kind of want more info. What's Chaos going for? Like,
I still think you need something with reach to be as your 4. You need like a Sand King. Maybe even you look at a Tavo hero here, like a Beastmaster to provide that vision.
Hawk? Yeah, Beastmaster Clock. I was saying. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Because he's played the Clock a couple times.
That's a good call.
The thing is, you're all magic damage versus an Oracle, and I don't really like that.
I mean, Clock used to be one of the counters to Leshrac, right?
Yeah, it was good, and it's a finder. You have a rocket, so you find the Oracle.
Okay.
So they're just going to use the CM. That's going to be King RD CM, and it's going to be Misery on the Bane.
Yeah, man.
They really want to leave their options open, but they're picking the Bane into the Oracle, and Oracle hard save versus it. So
exactly, like Bane against Oracle is really rough. But hey, look, I thought the Razor pick was a massive misstep from them in the previous draft, and Tavo, with the way they played and his itemization, completely proved me wrong.
And it's hard to feel good about Chaos's lineup. Like they've got so many stuns in control already, just out of like the first 3 heroes. Obviously, the one that pierces magic immunity is gonna be saved by False Promise, but I don't know. Like,
You want to see them go back to. I do want to see them go back to a team fighter though for KP. I mean, that's just
yeah.
okay.
Get the monkey.
There's your. You said that they banned out the Razor and the Husker in an attempt to guarantee this lane for the Ember, but that is another hero that really takes this Ember's lane away if they get matched up.
Yeah, definitely. That's where they could just, that's where you're like, okay, now we make the move. We switch, or the Bane starts mid, and then, even then though, the Bane has to stay for too long, so it's not like you want to actually do that. So they'll probably just make the move and make the Ember safe lane now.
Yeah, and that's another thing that because you banned as big a role as we saw lane swaps play in the last 2 DPC events, they banned Shen, and so they can do those lane swaps now. That's one of the big things in the last game that you noticed. There's the clock.
There's the
Great
clock.
call. Great call, Fogged.
I had a feeling just versus the Oracle, and they played it, and they seem to like it, and it's vision aspect. Vision aspect versus Oracle is so good, and versus Leshrac. Like, Kyle would probably be like talking about it like on end about how annoying it is to play some of these heroes versus clock.
So what the big question to me though is what do you do with the 5th pick, because you've got that Ember that kind of can find the Oracle in the backline, but you really want another hero with reach, because your 2 supports can't connect to the fight behind the Clockwork necessarily. You really want another hero that can threaten the Oracle.
You want a Drow?
Well, if you're putting Ember in the safe lane, someone else with reach, but someone who's going to actually have an influence in the fight. It's like, I'm wondering why like the OD doesn't actually just pop up as well as like that easy way just to burn and get that impact at the start.
Look at the reaction there from the team. Did you see that?
Yeah, they were really happy.
They knew that was coming.
Although Lycan, I mean, Lycan at a Clockwork is pretty, can be pretty rough, right?
You have so many summons at some point that you just like
true.
Just.
But you still, I mean,
over,
you still run into the same problem that like a Lifestealer would run into against Clockwork, where the cogs, you can't do that much about them. They're still in the fight. Yeah. Although one of the big things that we didn't talk about Lycan earlier is the Howl attack speed now.
Yeah, Howl attack
really
speed.
Nice.
It also gives a ton of regen, which works well with the Oracle too. So you can have your Feral Impulse plus your Howl regen with an Oracle. So for Chaos, they need the more than likely it's the Weeha that they need to pick up here. And they have a lot of setup for your favorite right now.
Oh, they sure do. Invoker would be, but again though, is Invoker okay in the lane against the Monkey King? I mean, you're probably going to try and hide Ember in the safe lane on HFN now. Yeah. But do you feel that much better about the Invoker against the Monkey?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was just thinking because I see a lot of setup. I see Chains, I see Frostbite, I see Bane, I see Clockwork. Every single one of them is actually a setup for this Invoker.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, Meepo and Timber are still on the table, and Paul said it earlier, but they still do run this Wind Ranger.
They do. Haven't seen it here yet. Have they played it at all, Alan?
I don't think they've played it here.
No, I don't remember them playing one here. In fact, they haven't, because it is one of the unpicked.
Easy enough to find. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's one of the unpicked.
This is Mineski's asking themselves, like, all right, which one is it?
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that you also just live with the Ember mid and he kind of treads water? We saw that Secret do that the other day with mid 1, and you pick something like a Slark for HFN?
Off you go, Tobes.
Go, Toby.
I'm good.
Pretty please. I said pretty please.
Mineski's
Have you?
Hi everyone.
Come on, Toby. I feel pretty. Go.
I feel pretty. Yeah, because that's the song you definitely want to choose.
Have you,
Sorry,
we'll do karaoke with Toby?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's legit.
It's actually very good.
No, he's good. He's
very good.
And
Tobes and I enjoyed a very good rendition before, didn't we, together? Mm-hmm. What did we sing?
What do we like? You mean in Moscow? You're talking about Moscow, right? Yeah, Moscow was really
very good. That was a very good karaoke.
Yeah, but I do Demons.
Right.
Slacks and I will like to belt that one.
We did Dream On.
Yeah, we did Dream On. We did Dream On.
You made me do the Michael Bubble version of...
Oh, yes, Michael Bublé version
Feeling Good.
of Feeling Good.
That's a cool SF band, because they have the Clockwork too, right? Something you don't see very often is the Clockwork SF abuse.
Ooh, last pick Doom for Mineski.
Okay, so
Chaos
this is
could go Meepo.
This is support Leshrac.
Yeah.
All right, this is gonna be a Febby Leshrac.
That takes,
or maybe
that takes my OD out of the pool that I wanted for Chaos.
Their team fight on Mineski is really lackluster. Chaos's isn't really the greatest either, so.
Oh, Paul's holding a card again.
10 seconds
He's already holding a card, only single in his hand, so he can't sleight of hand it.
I really want this to be Invoker, but now that the Doom's on the table, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Invoker can still keep his distance against the Doombringer, and they got good vision and other
maybe you just
potential save.
I mean, you're 3 melee cores. Maybe just Timber.
The gap close to Mineski aren't that great. Wait, okay, Red just threw his card away.
Oh!
It's a Viper.
Was that on your card?
No,
that was not on his card.
Oh my God.
So we were talking about Viper, how this hero seems to be, I mean, Nether Toxin, I think, is actually an insane ability. He's now got CM Aura as well. He actually is so good versus Monkey King. You disable the Jingu.
Oh, God.
It break.
With the break?
You break him. Absolutely. It's a passive.
Oh, man.
You're breaking him the whole time, and you're going to be spamming it. Uh-oh.
And it's so good. Viper used to be a lane dominator behind his orb, but now it's you use that Nether Toxin early is the big difference that I'm seeing.
We talked about this
really
at the very beginning of the day.
We did.
As a hero that might just get used a little bit today. And here it is. Is
kind
it
of on the
right
clock,
time,
though.
Is it the right time?
Oh, boy.
I can't remember everything on the draft again.
You're kind of on
we
the
need
clock.
like a fogged reminder or something that pops up as a graphic. What do you need to know?
No, I got distracted by the Viper. I really like that Viper versus the Monkey King.
Okay. Toby, what are your thoughts?
My biggest concern was just how that mid lane was going to work, and if they could be on top of the Monkey King. Every other lane feels really comfortable for Chaos.
Yeah. Does that Viper solve that issue then?
I think Viper definitely, like, if the brace kicking him, there's no huge harassment against him, and Viper can stand inside the lane, a little bit of support, rotate over, and that can change up, and Monkey King won't be the unstoppable force that we've seen him already.
Okay.
So,
quick final words, Adam?
Mineski, I think they've set themselves up to have a great early game and run them over, but if it goes late, I'm sorry, Chaos have the great early game. I think if it goes late, Mineski's going to win.
All right, thanks, gents. Time to get into game number 2 then. Just a quick reminder, if you are just joining us, Chaos just need 1 game to advance to round 2, and it would be all over as far as Mineski are concerned. Their title lives are on the line. Let's find out whether they can cling on to it.
An incredible way to open up this series in game 1 with a 70-minute game. We head straight into game 2 now of Mineski versus Chaos, and we're seeing this trend now. It started off all Midases in late game, but as the tournament continues, it seems like these teams are adapting for more and more of a focus on the early game, and especially the laning phase, and we see Chaos fully embracing that with the last pick Viper here.
I mean, I think both teams decided that they were going to try to end the game as early as possible. It was like some weird canceling out meta, and so it just ended up going 70 minutes. I'm not complaining. That was like the most entertaining 70-minute game that I've seen since EG eHome, but oof, it took some time to get to. Is Misery going to get stunned to start? Doesn't have that brain sap, but probably not going to take too much more damage here. Is right under the tower. They're both only level 1. It looks like they're going to go for some sort of aggressive play here.
We've seen the matchup of the Viper Monkey King. It's kind of been trending in China recently at MDL, and now we're going to see it here at Katowice. And that's why we're going to see Mineski try and dodge that matchup. They're going to put the Lycan here instead. There's still going to be the problem that this Nether Toxin will always be on the ground. It's a 5-second cooldown and an 8-second duration, so it's still going to be tough, but the Lycan, more than many other heroes, may be able to deal with it just because of his natural regen.
Yeah, I mean, Ajit shouldn't care too much about this, but I'm more interested just to see how good this Viper is. I mean, every game that we've seen it so far, it looks quite dominant. I think I saw CCNC play it early at MDL as well. Like, this hero feels like it's moved up the most from this tournament and just this meta in general.
Absolutely. So that's why Moon, he's going to be playing Monkey King in the bottom lane. We see here in the top lane, nice flash rack stun on HFN. KP is going to be playing Doom, and we're going to have a support lash rack. Now, when Secret was picking up lash rack, I was a little bit questionable of it until I saw that it was a 3 position, because I'm not really sure. I'm not sold on the support lash rack so much. We'll see how Febby is able to put it together here as he's just nailing these splitters.
I mean, theoretically, I think it makes sort of sense. He sort of reminds me of a Skywrath in that regard. Like, he's got a very good animation, but he also comes equipped with a stun, right? He has good harass. You can actually build himself into a viable late-game hero, whereas Skywrath is sort of all in on the laning phase.
Yeah.
I think his harass potential is actually quite decent. His level 1 stun, 120 damage at a 9-second cooldown. Yes, it requires some skill to hit, but
he's going to ignore the lightning storm for now as Diabolic Edict getting all the buffs is certainly the spell you want to go for here. The pushback of Tavo. King RD drops a bit low. They do manage to get the stacks up on Moon. So with that Jumbo Mastery, he can make sure he is both a threat and goes back up to 100% HP.
yeah, Wee's getting worked right now in this mid lane.
HFN dropping low. The Edict almost finishing him off. HFN is going to be able to stay alive for the moment.
He's got to cut down.
Oh, no, the Edict. He's going back into it, and Fevy's caught up to him. That's going to be the first blood. And even the stun. Oh, almost hitting Misery. Barely misses.
If that
a good
hits,
start for Mineski.
If that hits, they maybe get the kill. No, he's got brain set. But mid lane, 11 denies already on Ajit, who had quite the struggle last game. But this time around, he's matched Wee's CS and denies alone.
He's having to burn through quite a lot of regen, has an early headdress, has been funneling himself sounds, but I think you're willing to take that trade-off if you can get a CS lead like this.
Yeah, and I'd imagine like a good portion of the denies too are going to come off your wolves.
Yeah.
But still, I don't think he's summoned that many wolves yet. He's just doing a good job of getting in Wee's face. That's another deny.
Yeah, only 2 wolves have actually died to the Viper so far.
And in this bottom lane, it looks relatively even as Tavo is going to be pretty reluctant to get aggressive on this Monkey King unless he isolates him out. His Moon's starting to get a little bit low, but Tavo not willing to pop the mango and try to go for it quite yet.
Yeah, what do you think about this build? He's doing the Rocket Flare harassment build, where he's got the extra level in the Rocket Flare, and thanks to the TM aura, it just means that the 2 of them combined really don't, like every single time they can go for a CS and get a lot of harassment damage on this Monkey King, and Monkey hates that kind of play.
I think the reason he went for it is precisely because he has
super low in the top lane. They are going to be able to get a nice Infernal Blade onto Misery, trying to chase him down. Not quite enough, though, to get a kill on either support.
Still an overall win for them, and I think the main reason they're doing this is because they want to push in the lane so that CM can pull this wave back onto the side. That makes the most sense to me. And plus, it's just a really good amount of harass on Moon.
Yeah.
Every time he gets Nova'd, he's getting hit by the follow-up Rocket Flare. He's had his mana burned considerably as well. There's just a good amount of harass coming out of this lane. As this time around, Tavo does miss, but look at the lane position. At the 5-minute mark, this is also going to make it a lot easier for King RD to go for both the bounty runes, and I think that's partially why you do it. On top of just the harass potential, like you get the benefit of pushing in the lane, you can pull the side wave at the 5-minute mark.
Oh, Split Earth actually dodged there. Great job by Misery. That'll allow him to easily pick up the bounty runes and Chaos.
They're going to get all 4?
All 4 of them. Feby's still trying to chase him down, but the Diabolic Edict runs.
Yeah, that's
out.
a 4-for. And now what I imagine happens is King RD pulls this wave. He just continues to deny Moon CS, who can't really get into the middle of this at all, as there's 2 levels of this Nova early on. And the Rocket Flare already flies out to just prove more of a hindrance. It's Pylai died trying to get these creeps to die quickly, so there's less overall denied.
Ajit will be okay. Rotation from Misery not resulting in any fruit here. Chaos still without a kill.
Still Misery hanging around this area. I don't know how good their kill potential is though. We only level 5.5. This Lycan already has his ultimate. He's gonna try to chance for the top rune. He does have a bottle available, and instead it's gonna be bot lane as Misery instantly gonna pick up the Illu rune, which I think is the right idea because Pylai Dai was on his way anyways.
And not just like trying to gank that middle lane in general, but what about poor HFN? All right, finally Misery's back. The creep wave was pushing in anyway, but
after last game, do you even care about HFN? Like he'll find his farm. Like don't worry about HFN, man.
Split Earth is going to land on Misery here. King RD
They were
teleporting in as well. He tried to go for the hidden TP behind the trees, but he pops out at kind of the wrong time. They don't get anything here, but in mid lane, Ro4a is going to end up falling. The Oracle makes the rotation right as Ajit has his level 6.
And you saw the rocket flare come up at the same time, so it was very clearly planned. They wanted to try to go for some sort of kill, but Mineski well prepared for that, and it's not easy to bring down this Doom either. He's already got phase boots, he has 900 HP, he's got 10 armor on him.
And all that regen when he's devouring one of these creeps as well. He's going to go for the early Animitis. No phase into drums. He's going for that faster, much greedier build, but it does allow him to get to level 15 faster, which is where you get the 150 Devour bonus gold, and in general just allows you to accelerate so quickly.
I think you really want to get ahead on this Doom too. I don't think that Blink this game is that necessary. Like getting as a first item anyways, and I feel like this Midas will just help you push it. Nice stun.
Highlight die. Makes a rotation up to the top lane and catches the support out. Now they can start pressuring that tower because an Ember Spirit by himself is certainly not prepared to deal with this Doom +2.
And look at the Edict. Already level 2, they're going to pressure this tower in just 8 minutes into the game with 2 supports and an offlaner. And HFN is kind of relegated to the similar situation that he was in last game, where he's just sort of told, go to the jungle. I mean, we don't really want to play around your lane anyways. But the problem with it is they're not really getting any blowback on this bottom lane like they normally did in the previous game at least.
Yeah, it's not like Crystal Maiden and Clockwork can pressure the tower the same way this Leshrac is doing it, so...
Yeah, Febby just gets the tower for free. Doom's just skipped the wave. He's looking for the Ember. Doesn't grab the rock instead. Gonna keep the armor on himself. 10 armor and 1,000 HP at 8 minutes is pretty absurd.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And you see that they're putting a premium this time on HFN. They're saying, like, even if like your lane has been pushed in and stuff like that, we're gonna at least contest this jungle this time around. Because last game when they tried to do it, it wasn't as successful, but this time around they've got a Doom. He can just slap him with the Infernal Blade. Once he gets his level 6, he represents a very real kill threat. Whereas the Lifestealer just doesn't care. Even with the Ursa running at him, there's no real way for you to die. You'll always be able to rage TP out.
Yeah.
It's top lane. HFN, he's just getting harassed back, but should be just fine. Is level 6. Doesn't have a Remnant out, though.
Glyph is going to be forced to use as Febby came over. You can see HFN. This is a very rare window where he does have that level 6, but does not have to worry about the Doom just yet. Misery is going to stand in front of that mid-tier 1 tower while Ro4a was actually trying to clear through the jungle. That is one of the advantages of the Viper, is that the Nether Toxin is strong enough that you can go and start clearing through some of these camps. And Ro4a was able to get 4 of them in space of just 30 seconds. It's super efficient. And he still has the mana thanks to that Crystal Maiden Aura.
Yeah, look how farmed this Lycan is. He almost already has the Necrobook 1, has the Helm of Dom already.
Yeah, that's
He really wants some bounty runes this time around. Moon is alternated to going to this top lane as HFN. I mean, what I love about this guy is it doesn't really matter what the laning situation looked like. He'll sort of figure out a way to come back into games. Like, that has to be such a good feeling for your team when you know we don't have to help this guy at all. He'll sort of just figure it out. We don't have to secure his lane. He can just sort of do things. He'll make sure that he gets farm. It's the same for Tavo, too.
Yeah.
Like, all 3 of their cores are just good at finding space where there is none.
Kind of reminds me of, we were talking about how Sylar was just able to find farm despite all the pressure that was put on him. Jin is going to pop his ultimate here. They have the ensnare. KP was well set up to be able to catch Ro4a. With the Doom and ensnare, they're easily going to be able to get the kill, and they give it to the Lycan too, who's now going to look for more. Misery turns around, goes for the Nightmare, but can't really deal with the rest of these wolves. The wolf is going to wake up the big-time wolf, but Misery does manage to get back to the shrine, so they quickly head over back to the tier 1 tower. Tavo! Whoa, this is a questionable initiation. Can he really fight in all of this? Certainly not. He's going to be ensnared up. The Hellbear comes forward and gives the big clap. That's a killing spree now from Lycan.
And now Roshan is readily available to you. You have Necro 1. Your Doom is really strong. He has the ability to summon the mini skeletons.
Did you almost say mini trolls again?
Have it. Now that I know that I'm broadcast live, I got to worry about stuff like that. And it looks like there's going to be a recovery Midas on this Monkey King.
And that's fair
HFN.
enough. I mean, his 2 other cores have been great
Look
games.
at this, it's
so.
just pure aggression, though, from Mineski.
Yeah, this is
Please,
insane.
no. This time around, you have to take the Roshan. Look at how hard the game was when they didn't take it the first time around.
Right.
They gave up the first Roshan of the game. You can't really afford to do it this time, especially when you grab a tier 2 tower and the tier 1 mid at just 11 minutes in. And they're going to even defend their mid tower as Misery's going to cop a quick pause.
And I mean, this game is going, like, especially the pace of it, it's going against all expectations, right? I mean, our panel was very set where they were saying, like, look, Chaos is looking at this very dominant laning phase with this Viper pickup. They're going to try it and just, like, focus on winning that first 10 minutes. And they lost that 10 minutes pretty hard. And Mineski have now pushed that to a point where they've taken 3 towers where Chaos have only taken 1. You said they've got Roshan available to them. It feels like they're stronger in team fights as well.
And this is such an early Midas pickup by this Doom too. And it's paid off because they haven't been punished. They were able to just get free towers. This top lane's being pushed in by Catapult too. Chaos cannot allow this to happen, not this early on. And what this is going to do is force HFN to show on the map a little bit more than he likes.
Yeah.
And he's got to also hang around this Roche Pit area because he's going to be the one to sort of harass back, use his slight. And he might just not get the time that he did in the previous one. Because in the previous game, Mineski largely just ignored him and said, like, whatever.
Right.
This time around, you've got tools to deal with him. You've got the Doom available to you, who's incredibly farmed. You can just sort of end the game with the Lycan as well.
You can see the drawing that KP made. He wants his team to be able to just play on this high ground. After all, they pushed in top. They know that there may come a rotation from Chaos, just trying to cut through the jungle up to that top lane. And if not, it'll at least force some teleports, at least one of them, to that top lane. Or they're just going to get a lot of damage on a tier 3. Which is...
I don't think this is necessarily the best trade. And because of its glyph, this is going to lose like 500 HP, which means all it takes is one fight and Chaos are going to lose racks.
Mineski.
They should defend this tower. This is not a tower that you should give up for free. I think they're stronger too.
The Lycan can come in from behind in 20 seconds with his ultimate.
The stun.
They are going to be able to get the split Earth to start on HFN, just trying to slow down this damage generally.
The deny maybe by the Wolves, and he gets it.
Nice. Well played by Ajit.
He really needs to play well to make up for that previous game.
Yeah.
I felt like we just never really felt the impact of the Meepo. That was more a Moon versus King RD sort of cat and mouse battle, but this time around, he has had such a good start. 3-0, 12 minutes in. He gets the deny with the Wolves. Would really like to see them go for the Roshan. I guess they're a bit hesitant because of the Rocket Flare, and they don't want to get caught with their pants down around that Roche area, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I feel like momentum is on your side. You've got level 6 on Pylai Die too. I don't see a way in which the team fight goes bad. I mean, Vebi's almost got a Rod of Atos just with the addition of the Tower Gold alone.
A tip for Tavo, who's trying to push out this top lane, but at the same time dealing with these Lycan Wolves. 3,000 net worth lead, and that's where Mineski
All right, see, this is
gonna
what I
go
wanted
into that
to see.
Roche Pit.
They're going to do it anyways. I'm glad about this. I felt like last game they were way too hesitant. They didn't really take their advantage of taking towers early on, and they didn't really parlay it into anything. But as soon as Chaos won one fight, they just walked into Roche themselves. This time around, Mineski's going to have that same play. Ajit's going to have a Necro 3 probably like pre-17 minutes if they take the tier 2 mid tower as well.
Tavo is going to try and come over here. That's where KP, you could see his positioning. He knows that the Clockwork's going to be around him. He's going to be able to get the hook shot in. Can he actually take any of this? Ajit? No, he gets the Aegis. Tavo is unable to claim it.
And they're going to farm his cogs. They give him the immediate triple tip. That's teamwork.
Doesn't steal the Roshan, doesn't steal the Aegis. Good play by Moon there. Sitting outside of the pit as well and gets the immediate boundless strike.
That was very well done. They made absolute sure that there was no way he was going to go for that steal, but Ajit might be walking into a trap here as Misery does have the Fiend's Grip. He's going to pop the ulti. The Freezing Field is here too.
Freezing Field, Fiend's Grip,
He's so
every
tanky.
kind of hold. They are going to be able to bring him down. KP is here though, and Chaos may still have a bad fight on their hands. Both the supports are probably going to get caught here. Misery's trying to go deeper into the Radiant side after he slept up Pylai Die and is trying to cruise through the jungle, but Moon is on the hunt, hopping his way through the trees. He's gonna find Misery eventually here, jumps right on top of Misery, turns around, tries to go for the brain zap. Nice little dodge there with the mischief.
Very nice dodge, but I think that's an overall okay situation for Chaos. They trade the 2 supports for the Aegis.
They got 4 bounty runes.
Yeah, that Aegis could
3.
have just spelled the end of their tier 2 tower at bottom as well.
Yeah.
They could have even gone for the high ground potentially, and so at the very least you deny the end game situation.
Words down.
Like you lose a bit of gold,
here.
but you save the potential for just losing the game straight up. As Lycan does have Necro 2 available if he wants it, and he's just 1,000 gold away from the 3rd one so early on into the game.
How about the progression on Chaos? We've got base boots and Mythal Hammer. Oh no, the Ro4a is going to set up as Splitters. Not going to land, but they still manage to get the stun out with the Boundless Strike. HFN can't get away.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Didn't have that defensive remnant up. They actually sort of messed up for a sec, but
yeah,
played a little bit greedy here, and Mineski, they glyph, and they're going to go for this bottom lane. It does get glyphed up. There's no tier 1 available for Mineski to take, so there's not going to be another glyph available. They might just go for the high ground here instead. I don't even think this is that bad of an attempt. There's still 10 seconds on the Ember. You have Doom available. You have Edict in a second here. He's just going to pop it. They don't have glyph for this one. I think this was a bit of a mistake to try to delay that tier 2 tower push. And look at it go. That's 4 levels.
Chaos have been hesitant to take a fight this entire time, and Mineski are going to take advantage of that weakness. Good saves here by Pylai Die, giving him that Fate's Edict onto Femi. He's even going to give him the False Promise to make sure he stays alive here. KP, who's nightmared up, is going to be woken up and makes his way backwards. Moon has that Wukong's command still, just to make sure that Chaos can't really pursue.
Is under attack.
Look at the dichotomy of this Doom's build. He's gone for the Midas, which usually signals that he's trying to take it a little bit later. But he's also got the BKB queued up because I think he wants to take advantage of his team's timing. I mean, they're so strong. If he can just barrel in behind the Lycan, undeterred by the clockwork, because that's really the only hero that's going to stop him.
Yeah. Mineski are probably, in general, just farther ahead than they ever expected to be, right?
17 minutes in, I don't think they expected the lanes to go this well.
Yeah.
And even Moon, who was pressured early on, has completely come back. That Midas has paid off for him. He's got the Echo Saber. None of the 3 cores on the side of Mineski are very poor at all, but Moon might get caught out here. He does get hooked. They know he's in the tree line. They're going to find him
down with the cogs. Now Mischief trying to dodge a little bit of damage. Managed to get out the Boundless Strike. That'll set up the rest of his team to come in. Now Doom's already on Ro4a. They get the ensnare onto King RD as well. They really want this core. Now Jit's going to chase after him. Feb's going to make sure that the Ember Spirit goes down. What a big hit by him. Chaos have going to lose 3 here as the Viper's definitely going to fall. And Misery may be caught as well as he's trying to chase away from KP and the rest of Mineski here. They don't have any immediate way to grab him.
He doesn't have a
like
TP.
Misery will survive, but won't be able to get back to base, at least not immediately.
He does have a sleep available, but he's in such an awkward position because he doesn't really have vision, so he's just sort of guessing, and it's going to pay off for him.
All right, Misery makes the cool read, gets away. Febby immediately pushed in mid after that kill on the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit's going to get his revenge. Febby, nice dodge there from HFN with a sleight of fist.
Oh, Febby.
Not going to hit by a split earth this time around.
And they might even catch the Doom for this too. Misery.
Misery does not have the mana for Fiend's Grip. 1 more mana, gets it now, but it's a bit too late. And feeling like all of Mineski was going to come into him. That wasn't actually the case, though, because Moon is chilling out here in this bottom lane. He's going to set up on Tabo. Managed to get off the Wukong's command. Tabo's completely surrounded. Gets the Jingle Master. Stays inside of the cogs as well. Tabo looks for a hook shot away, but misses the neutrals.
You could see what he was going for there, but Moon consistently blocked off his path, so he had to swing it a little bit wider than he would have liked. There's no neutral creeps there, buddy.
8,000 gold lead for Mineski, but it's Chaos on the offensive right now, and all of a sudden, hey, look behind you, that's Jin, that's the Lycan. You can turn around and maybe blow him up. He's going to get off his ultimate. There's going to be a false promise. Fiend's Grip immediately afterwards. Misery holding back that Lycan for the rest of his team to be able to escape, but HFN has to use a defensive remnant to get away. What a spot from King RD.
Oh, this is such a
beautiful
good freezing field.
That's going to be able to make sure that KP goes down. That was a fight that I thought Mineski could still take, but with that beautiful freezing field, now they come back into it though, thanks to Moon. With the Ro4a as well, they're going to be able to get the split Earth stun onto HFN. He doesn't have another remnant to be able to get away. Buys himself a little bit of time with the sleight of fist, but it's not enough.
And they're going to probably lose the tier 2 tower mid for that. And what looked like a very successful fight. predicated on that Crystal Maiden ulti in that tree line, instead gets turned around just because of the sheer advantage in golden items that Mineski have right now. Maybe if it was half of this, Chaos could have turned that around. And I respect the fact that they're trying to play aggressively because they don't want to just get their towers pushed down, lose inch by inch, but they're just a little bit too far to be thinking about engagements like that.
And Mineski are also doing a good job. They're not splitting up too much.
Yes.
Right? Like that kind of smoke gank, they run into Lycan by himself, like fantastic. Blow everything you have, blow them up. Great pickoff, but Mineski are always making sure to play around each other, kind of ensuring that they don't throw away their lead.
Yeah, and you see right here, the Oracle just sitting behind Misery, trying to get the Fiend's Grip going for as long as possible. But it was only there to delay as that freezing field gets KP killed.
I mean, that single-handedly, momentarily stopped Mineski from just running over Chaos, and we can see as, especially as Moon came back in, they did run over Chaos eventually.
That is not happening again though. KP this time around, if you look at his items, does have that completed BKB. Chaos, I mean, they made that last game hectic as possible, kept it going, went to 71 minutes, didn't really know who was going to win. No clear advantage on either side, but this time around, Mineski up by 9K at just 21 minutes. It's been a steady climb for them, and they've been protecting their lead. I think it would have been so easy for them to get tilted off of last game, but they're keeping their composure. They have a good draft. They're playing to their strengths. No one has just wantonly died, aside from that time by the Leshrac in mid lane.
Eul's Scepter for the Ember Spirit. He's got to, as there's just too much catch between the Oracle and Snare that he can't really get away from on a Remnant, and then also this Leshrac with the Rod of Atos.
Check out King RD. That is a 20-minute BKB. He has bought no other items. He doesn't even have, I think he has a TP coming now. He invested into like a 15-minute
10,000 gold behind.
Well,
how's this man done this?
Not King RD. King RD is not 10,000 behind.
He's going to be okay. Misery will not, though. Looks like Ajit doesn't even have to use his ultimate. He's just going to let the Wolves do their work.
He even gets the cripple hit. Slows him down just enough. And look at Moon. Invised up, trying to see what he can find right now. They're pointing the arrows upwards. Moon saying, team come. That top tower is pretty low. It's at just 1,500 HP. He's going to find King RD, who does have the BKB. Wonder if he expends it for this. Trying to force it out.
Going to pop it now, but it might be a bit too late. Moon has already got invis, spots him for a moment. Just throws his staff over the trees to get the kill. Now, Tavo trying to spot him out with Rocket Flare. Don't really think that's a fight that Chaos can take.
That's pretty significant. That was their BKB CM.
Yeah.
Which, crazy enough, I think would have had impact. And now the pings to the top lane. KP saying, guys, I've got a BKB. I don't know if they can stop us. But they probably just wait out for the second Roshan, right? And you're about to get a BKB on your Lycan, then it's really hard for Chaos to stop you from just rampaging down lanes.
For sure. Pushing into these clutch points like high ground against the clock where it can get a little messy, right? You've got
plus, you have all the map control in the world.
Yeah.
You've taken every single tier 2 tower pre-20 minutes.
And you've got 2 Midases as well. Like, you're already ahead when you've got map control and Midases. And a Doom.
Yeah. Just a small push in the right direction, and Mineski's just going to win this game. They've done such a good job of setting themselves up into this position. They've controlled the map. They haven't made any over-eager maneuvers. As at top KP, there's almost no way that you're going to get the kill without a blink.
Moon bouncing around. His Shadow Blade is about to fade. Weeha's going to spot him now, and now he knows he's kind of in trouble. Moon's going to pop over. He's going to be able to jump on a Weeha here. Nether Toxin goes out, tries to turn around the Wukong's command. Weeha can't get away from this one. He will fall. Tavo actually used the hook shot, ran into his own allies. He needs to be able to block this. He is going to be able to cogs down. Fiend's Grip onto Ajit. Unfortunately, the BKB just means all this magic damage is going to waste. Ajit is plenty healthy now that Fiend's Grips fade. Went to the back line, though. HFN tries to go for Pylite Dive, but again, there is going to be that phase hit. Moon straight into the Crystal Maiden. Wipes him out with a Boundless Strike, and now the Doom on HFN. He's very dead. Misery is going to be caught as well. Tavo trying to block the high ground, but caught by Rod of Atos. Moon jumping over the trees into Tavo. That's going to be 4 dead from Chaos, as I don't believe there's any way out for Tavo as he tries to just battery assault plink his way out of here. But a Split Earth landing from Febby will ensure his doom. 14,000 net worth lead, and look where KP is. He's already hitting the tier 3. Weehaw gets a little damage on the Moon, but doesn't have the visibility.
And he's got the Guardian Greaves, but his team just doesn't really have enough farm. This time around, they've done a very good job of punishing repeatedly. HFN, he's got a decent amount of net worth, but it gets entirely nullified by the fact that he just keeps getting doomed in these engagements. Not really able to do too much.
Even harder now that the Doom has a Blink Dagger.
As we see, Febby does get picked off potentially here as King RD is making his way, but seems like they're loath to just let him die by himself as the false promise comes out.
Oh,
the hook
nice
shot
jump in, Tavo. What a hook shot. They're going to be able to hit the cogs in. Pylai died, though, surrounded by so many units. He's not going to die to the Clockwork here, not Jit, with his BKB, surrounded by another BKB and KP. The two of them are just going to march forward. Nice boundless strike. It's going to be a hit with two in the back line. KP jumps in, grabs that Crystal Maiden. Weehaw fighting underneath his Nether Toxin as best he can. HFN trying to jump away, but Moon always making sure he catches up to him. Oh, no. Oh, King RD tried to get off that freezing field, but KP wiped him out. HFN trying to stay away from that Doom as well. Weehaw, they've left him for last, the tankiest of all the Chaos members. They'll make sure they'll take their time with him. HFN actually jumping back in, does manage to get the Monkey King. Weehaw still alive until bursted down by that Oracle, but HFN picks up 3 kills until Pylai Die gets another core kill off of that. Kills award as well. And now the question is, can he actually get out of here? He doesn't have a TP, and Misery does have a Nightmare, so he's going to make sure that he sticks around long enough for HFN to make his way over with a Remnant. That's going to be 4 kills for HFN off of that team fight, eventually.
As Pylai died, just trying to make him work for it. Even going to Yules him up in the air, but a pretty quick reactive buyback considering he couldn't really get anything aside from that as Misery, in fact.
He had a monster kill streak.
That's Pylai die, man. Everyone knows he's rich.
But unfortunately, it all went to Misery. That 761 gold bounty, King RD forced to use another BKB.
He has gone from 10-second charges to 6 so quickly.
Yeah.
Just preemptive BKB usage after BKB usage, trying to get himself out of sticky situations. But miraculously, Chaos haven't completely lost the game yet. It did cost them so many buybacks, but somehow they're sort of in this game.
There's still a big objective to be taken. Tavo's scouting it out right now. There is Ro4a available.
They haven't lost Rax, which is saying something.
Unfortunately, this lineup just... I can't see a moment where it gets, like, a lot stronger. Because this lineup, I don't think, was ever meant to play from behind. Clockwork and Viper, these are cores that do not want to be in that position.
Yeah, for sure. And this game, a lot more one-sided than the game #1 that we were hoping to see. Surprisingly, it's Mineski that have just battled back mentally. So they're going to grab the second Aegis of the game. They've kept up a blistering pace, too.
Look at this. He's going to TP onto the
The
shrine.
same exact
Tavo
spot.
is going to try and do the same exact thing. He is desperate for anything to change this game.
Get it.
He's going to spot it in. Blink
there's
forward.
so many different things
they're
in
not
front of
lit. Oh, he actually got inside the pin. And no,
got the last hit,
he
though.
got the Ro4a kill. Won't be able to grab the Aegis.
He actually just goalposted them. Worked his way through the middle. I mean, you got to do what you got to do at this point.
Misery ensnared up by KP. So that'll be 2 dead from Chaos. I can't believe
The crazy part is he actually got in there. Like, they knew it was going to happen. They tried to build this wall to just body block him out, and he still just managed to find an angle in. The fact that he got his team gold out of that, go him.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Viper's going to go ahead, push out that bottom lane, but eventually he's going to have to TP back. We're going to see that hook shot one more time. Manage to just sidestep to the right, juke him out, get into the pit. Just couldn't get that extra life out of the hands of Mineski. We're going to have a tier 3 already dead. Self-heal Scepter on HFN to be able to dodge that Split Earth follow-up on the Rod of Atos. Moon needs a little protection here. He does have BKB and Cheese, and Weeha's now been doomed up. He's got to get out of the Wukong's command. He cannot, and he does not have buyback. He's going to be dead for a full minute. Mineski had plenty of time to finish up this lane of Rax.
Yeah, they're pinging the creep wave, acting as if anybody can get out and do something.
Double split Earth. Bevy's going to be protected by that magic damage on Jin. His BKB is active, yes, but his Fiend's Grip controlled up. King RD is going to be taken down by all that physical damage from Moon, and now going to hit that next support in the back line. Misery is chased away. KP protected by Paladai as well, making sure to heal everybody ever from
look at that
Mineski,
sleep
looking
switch.
so healthy, and the split Earth coming down on Jin as well as Bevy dropping a little bit low. It's only HFN of the cores that can really do any damage to Mineski. But every single time he has to back up to the fountain, it just gives Paladai free reign to heal everybody back up to full. That's going to be 2 lanes of racks and no sign of slowing down for Mineski.
They did leave the range racks available still in this mid lane, but I think they care less about that as HFN. Trying to figure out a way that they can trap him.
Trying to lead with Boundless Strike, seeing if they can get the combo off to... Oh, they do manage to get the Boundless Strike into the ensnare, and HFN doesn't have a way out. There's just too much damage. Weehaw TP'd in. KP had a BKB, so now that magic damage is useless for Weehaw. He's just trying to stand on top of his own Nether Toxin, but that's it. Chaos. Call it here. Mineski bouncing back from sort of a heartbreaking 70-minute loss and take game 2 very swiftly.
That was dominant. They left no wiggle room at all for Chaos to get back into this game. They executed that so cleanly, both the Roshan attempts, aside from the fact that Tavo somehow got into the pit twice. They're very clinical in this game. Febby especially played such a good Leshrac. In all the cores performed. Very good team victory by Mineski. This was thorough. And they needed something like this, especially after last game, just to recover yourself.
Yeah. And it honestly seems like such a one-sided game, a large part of it has to play into the draft, right?
In this game, it felt like Chaos just went a little bit too greedy with how they set things up. Like HFN, when you play Lifestealer and you get that Midas, he was untouched. I think Mineski learned from that previous game and they were like, we slowed down the pace ourselves way too much.
Right.
Like they took tier 1 towers, but they didn't really capitalize off any of it. Whereas this time around, I think they were telling themselves we have to be a little bit more aggressive with things. They took down so many towers in a row. They made the good rotations. They finally punished HFN. They forced him to the bottom side of the map. This time they just forced him to come back at all times to try to take engagements. Because in Dota, you can't just allow every single one of your tier 2 towers to go down for free.
That mid matchup not going as well as Chaos were hoping for. So we are going to go to a game 3 for Chaos and Mineski. But first, back to the panel.
Thanks very much, gents. Yes, we are going to a game 3. Thank the Lord. That's what we like more than anything else here at ESL One Katowice. It's 3-game series. It's exactly what we've got. Now, has Toby1 and Fogged here to break things down and talk about what proved to be a very dominant performance, Alan, in the end from Mineski. Did Chaos get a bit too greedy?
I don't know. I think in the previous game we were talking about, I thought that Mineski misplayed the first couple of big fights.
Yep.
The early game was a little suspect, and their early game in this one was just perfect. I thought the Lycan Viper lane swap was really something I thought we got caught off guard by, because all of a sudden you're in the situation where instead of potentially punishing a Monkey King, you got a Lycan that's just trading farm.
Yeah, I think it also was just this tricore, this last pick Doom. I couldn't remember what the last pick was when they did it, and I was like, wait, I think it was pretty important hero. Yeah, this Doom, yeah, he was super important how much pressure he could actually put on that safe lane. It was, yeah, damn good. Just that Doom plus Lash, right? They are
Toby,
super powerful.
Would this be a game that you would have enjoyed casting or not?
No, not at all.
Didn't think so. It's a little bit boring for a commentator.
But it was better than the first 2 games I cast today.
That's true.
Even with this very one-sided kind of affair. I like actually flagging it. Fog was putting up on the screen right in front of us at the end. Is that like looking at Paladai, the Oracle's performance
11
in that round
and 12.
He had more kills and 1 less assist than the Monkey King had.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Alan's got some sort of crazy stat over there. Like, it's more kills in 1 game from Paladai than he's had at the whole tournament.
Wait, Nahas doesn't have a stat ready?
I mean, I think that I can check for you.
I think Paladai getting kills breaks all of our stats. That just doesn't happen. Dapto is down.
It's broken. It's broken. A fabulous performance all round, though. Not just from him, but from the team as well.
Yeah. It did seem, though, like this Oracle pick would be joking aside, there really was like limited physical damage on the side of Chaos. They were all magical. So that Fate's Edict just, again, seemed to be super powerful every single time that they would try to make a play.
Didn't need to get to level 25 and make it a 2-second cooldown either.
No.
Which just seems absurd, by the way.
It just seems absolutely hilarious. Like you guys said at the very beginning, but I kind of almost want to drag it back to is like why was there not as much lane switching? Why wasn't there like the attempt to at least get the matchups that you wanted to have at the beginning and have that Viper versus the Monkey? Like why did this never happen?
You wonder if that's part of why Mineski pivoted back to picking Chen, right? When they hadn't done it in so long, is that Chen takes away that lane swapping from the other team, and that just might be a point of weakness from them.
What do you think?
I think in this game you can't put Viper in an offlane is the problem. He's too slow. You'll just get chased and chased and chased. That's my biggest.
We thought that was a good pick for the mid, didn't we?
For the mid,
when we went in, and then you see the changes, and you're like, oh.
I think he just needed to. There's a lot of things that went wrong in the game, and Mineski also played great, but I think he needed to try to like rotate more. Like we saw mid one, he traded with the Razor, and then he went to jungle, got a little bit extra farm, and then just made moves everywhere on the map with an Atos. I want to
talk to all of you a bit more about the mid matchup, but there is someone who would also like to talk to you about the mid matchup, and that is Mr. Kevin Purge himself.
Hey guys, the mid matchup was a big deal. In the past, Viper has been one of those heroes that ends up being really impactful in the lane because of Nether Toxin applies break, which means that your passives don't work. So the Viper that Chaos finished off their draft with was really impactful if it got the right matchup. Now, one cool thing that Mineski did to try to make it harder for that to happen is they grabbed Monkey King with no regen items, and they moved him through the mid lane. Now, this is important because what you normally do if you're playing mid is you get shared tangos. He saved them on his courier to make sure that his opponents got to see him if they were paying attention, and ESL did ping him at this point, or I'm sorry, HFN did. So they basically weren't quite sure what the lane matchups were, which is a cool little trick that they tried to use. So they end up putting the Lycan mid, and they use the power of the level 1 Wolves to be able to just power deny. Now, it does suck to fight a Nether Toxin because it's doing about 30 damage per second, and ESL was occasionally trying to harass, but what's happening is Lycan is just getting way more denies because Viper doesn't do that much physical damage anymore, so he can't really contest at the same speed. And then what Lycan did is he used his early gold to just channel into regen items. He didn't buy items that makes his hero stronger, he just tried to make sure that he keeps his health up, that way ESL can't abuse Nether Toxin to get his life lower. And over the course of time, this means that eventually Lycan's level 6.5, and ESL's not even 6 yet, so he dodged one gank earlier, Oracle rotates over at the perfect time to be able to interrupt the TP, and he gets a guaranteed kill. So all of those early denies that he got translated to him having a level advantage, and that gives him a Viper kill. And then when this team ends up crushing towards mid and going for the tier 1 tower push, he pops his ulti a second time, and he gets a double kill, completely catapulting him into the lead.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Purge. Thanks, Purge. Seems good.
No, that was excellent. That was really good. I'm glad that
very good. Love
we didn't get to see that, so that's like super cool.
Do you know what, actually?
Career.
If you like Purge's segments with the Weatherman, we've given you the exclusive opportunity to tell him what you'd like him to break down. Just use the hashtag on the screen right now and send your favorite play, or any play for that matter. It could be, you know, break down Toby One's discussion on techies or something. Whatever you want. And we'll work out what the most, you know, favorite one is, and then we'll get Purge to break it down at some point.
Hey, can we vote that Purge breaks down my Nature's Prophets guide?
No.
Nobody wants to see that again.
No, absolutely not. Can we vote for that never to happen?
Yeah.
Seconded.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
You do realize that you are not the majority here when there is the community. And you don't mess with the community, boys. You are not greater than the community.
Back
No,
guys.
we just thought we were greater than you. Wouldn't.
That's great.
Didn't want to.
That's great.
Didn't want to go any further than that.
Did I also catch out the corner of my eye with that replay that Kevin was showing?
Yes.
That was a shared ring.
Ooh.
On the Lycan as well.
I think that was his ring that he bought.
It was his ring in the middle because it looked like the 1 minute mark, and I'm like,
might be right.
Did the support actually give him a support ring? Because like this actually happened, I think, with Mineski during the group stage.
You have a fixation with rings right now.
What?
I watched the last game. You were talking about rings in the green room as well.
No,
what were you talking about now?
That was Kyle.
Was it?
Yeah, we don't look the same.
I'm getting old. Let's move on before I get myself into even more trouble and Toby uses it to, you know, prod me and bully me. We're going to head to a break. When we come back, though, we will have game number 3. It's exactly what we all wanted, right?
Found the strike into the ensnared. HFN doesn't have a way out. There's just too much damage. ESL TP'd in. KP had a BK BKB, so now that magic damage is useless for Weehi's just trying to stand on top of his own Nether Toxin, but that's it. Chaos, call it here. Mineski bouncing back from sort of a heartbreaking 70-minute loss.